It is 6:05 on the East Coast. It is 3:05 on the West Coast. It is the 27th of September in the year of our Lord 2020. Season 2, episode 22, 69 times. This face and or this voice has welcomed you to the Cheap Popcast, your one-stop shop for all things professional wrestling. It is one of two back-to-back pay-per-view days. If you've been paying attention on social media, you know it is time for, Don, get ready, for Clash of Champions, Gold Rush.
Gold Rush.
There we go. Welcome. My name is Rob. I am the executive producer of the Cheap Popcast, and I am so excited that you're here with us today because I'm excited because almost everybody's back in the studio. Let's go around the dais, but I'm going to start right across from me to my co-host who is honoring his bet after the nightmare that was his Ohio trip going there, which we'll talk about at a later date because you demanded it. He is Alex. Hey, brother.
I feel like calling it a nightmare trip to Ohio is redundant, but let me
but
first
you said it was a
stand up.
great trip, though.
Yeah, so
honoring the bet. You heard him live from a remote location that we would say is secret, but we know it's his house. You may know him as Igbunu, but his mama named him Don Ford. I'm going to call him Don Ford. How you doing, brother?
Doing good. I want to bring this up to Alex. One, I did not rub it in.
He did not. That is true.
But number two is how you said we could do it on this show, and on the regular show you asked and I approved. Well, keep in mind, last year when I lost the bet and I asked the same thing, you guys said, no, it has to be on the regular show, 4 shows, regular show, not the Cheap Popcast. So I'm being nice.
it sounds like you're being whiny.
I've had to, but that's still funny.
You told me last week you were good with it, so
I'm good with it.
And joining us is our very special guest this week. He is one of my most tenured friends since I moved to Texas almost 26 years ago.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Back when he and I both had more hair than we have now.
This is true.
He'll be with us for the pre-show. He's not going to be able to stay for the deconstruction, but he will be with us for both parts next week for NXT TakeOver. You may know him as Doc, but we also like to call him John Hauser. Hey, man. Welcome to the new studio.
Thanks. Hallo, mein Liebchens. Alles klar.
He is here.
Yes.
So we're gonna do things a little bit differently tonight. And Jay, as soon as you can get the pre-show up on the TV, let me know.
I'm still kind of surprised you didn't say NXT TakeOver, subtitle to be determined.
I think it's just going to be called TakeOver. By the way, we have to
they're going to do something.
We have to introduce our engineer and a guy that took a bit of a tongue lashing when he got here from Alex because he's wearing Tennessee colors today. Host of Big 12 Talk, Jay Gillespie. Jay, hey, brother.
Hey, man. How are you doing?
Pretty good. You going to get me the stuff up here so I can see what's going on?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
The pre-show is on right now. We're going to be going through picks. Until we get to that point, Alex, let me know if any previews come up on the screen. But we do have breaking news about the pay-per-view, which is going to be a little bit of a something. I don't know if we need the captions, though. Captions distract me.
As they do to me, too, but everybody in my house uses them.
Fair enough. Both the SmackDown women's title and the women's tag team titles have had a change. Nikki Cross allegedly was a no-show for SmackDown, so we don't know what's going to happen with the Bayley match. And allegedly, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler neither have been medically cleared. We think that might be kayfabe for their match tonight against the Riot Squad. So,
well, but with the possibility, since there has been what we'll talk about more in depth later, some rumors of some people catching things. There's both the acceptance of I don't feel safe going to work, which every person has a right to do.
Absolutely.
Or I started coughing this morning, let me go ahead and quarantine myself. Either one of those situations, totally acceptable. So we also don't know if it's the only reason I say this is because when you say is a no-show, and I know that that's how we read it on our articles, that has a very strong connotation to go along with it. And there is nothing in the history of Nikki or Shayna that says that would be par for the course, other than just not showing up with reason. So I want to make sure to clarify we're not dogging them.
It may be my fault. I mean, we all went out to Oktoberfest last night because this is the most wonderful season.
Ladies and gentlemen, John Hauser.
We had a whole ton of stuff at Jorg's, and they came over to my house last night. We had a grand old time, but I don't remember them leaving.
And hey, Jay, can you give me the pre-show on full screen in here? Because I don't know if they're really worried about the cameras. I just want to be able to see that full screen if I can. So we're ready to go. Currently, Booker T is being Booker T, although I like that suit. That's a good-looking suit.
That is a very good suit for him.
Good-looking suit for Booker T. All right, we're going to save our Raw and SmackDown talk for the show itself, just because we got some feedbacks from some of our viewers on the last pay-per-view that might be a better way to do it. So if there's a lull in the action, we can go ahead and talk about the shows and things leading up to it.
And also, thank you very much for watching and giving us feedback.
Yes,
we love it.
we love the feedback as long as you're respectful and only call Alex names. We're okay.
No.
Okay, maybe not.
Yeah, the egos are checked at the door, as you can see from the subpar shirt. But we like interaction. We like feedback. We love interacting with anybody who watches. And then people who don't. We like talking to people.
Yes, we do. It makes us feel better about ourselves sometimes.
It's also true.
Yeah. I don't feel so lonely.
So lonely.
I'm never
so
alone. The voices in my head keep me company.
That's fair. They know me there. Let's get into one of the biggest stories from this week. Sadly, the passing of Road Warrior Animal. I didn't realize he was 60?
Yeah. He was younger than I thought he was.
Exactly. I was like, wow. By all accounts, an amazing human. His son played in the NFL. I loved when they did the photo shoot where he was wearing the gear and his son was in the Road Warrior gear. It's one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
That's when he was with the Rams, I believe.
Yep.
Where he got drafted. Yeah.
And they showed one of the pieces I saw in him showed him in the stands, and they're like, not your typical football dad. And,
yes.
it's no secret on the show. In my opinion, Road Warrior is one of the greatest tag teams of all time. Second, in my opinion, only to the Twin Towers of Barry Windham and Lex Luger, which is my favorite tag team ever. And even though they were around for like 3 months, but whatever.
I am shocked. I would have thought you would have said Rock and Roll Express.
Rock and Roll Express is on the medal stand, but not my favorite.
I honestly thought they would have been number one for you.
I still love the Rock and
Roll
Roll Express.
The other one would have been Brainbusters.
Brainbusters.
Why do you think the Twin Towers?
Because I've always loved that combination of humans in the ring, because you had Luger that was the strength and you had Barry Windham who was the more finesse technical wrestler, and their styles
Despite
came
being
together.
bigger, other than muscular. Yeah.
Their styles meshed so well as a tag team, and thank you for that question, Don. I appreciate that. They just worked. Go back and just Google some of their matches. Those two just knew how, not only did they know how to work together, but they knew how to work with their opponents in the ring, almost to the level of Arn and Tully, in my opinion. Because the thing with the Road Warriors, you just kind of had to let them do what they do. They were the ring generals. It didn't matter who they were wrestling. And they were the smartest two individuals in the room at that SummerSlam in the UK, because they rode in on motorcycles, because that was like a quarter of a mile from the tunnel to the ring. But I've always loved the Road Warriors. I still prefer them as the Legion of Doom, and they'd come out to Iron Man by Black Sabbath back in the day, and I didn't really want to watch the
Dark Side
of the Ring, because like I know the story.
It was really well done,
have the
and I know
DVD.
Don can probably speak to this as well. It was incredibly well done, but I would bet good money that 99.9% of the stuff you'd be like, yep. I'm glad they got it. I'm glad they got it on air while Animal was still alive and could speak to a lot of stuff, though. That was really cool.
Do you know what I liked about them versus like the days when every match on regular TBS for most of them were squash matches, and they saved the good matches for pay-per-view or live events back in the day when the Road Warriors were big at the time, before WWE, when they won the Crockett Cup and all that. It was just squash match after squash match, which took forever. Those guys, when they came in and they did squash match, it did not take 10, 15, 20 minutes. They were gone in about 90 seconds and they were done. We're coming in, we're kicking butt. We kill these guys in 90 seconds. Who's going to beat that?
Well, there was one time, I remember this distinctly, where they actually did a job to a tag team who were known as a jobbing team called the Mulkey Brothers, and they were on TBS on a Saturday night, and they beat the Road Warriors, and it was one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my life.
I feel like that was the original 1, 2, 3 Kid. Like, everybody remembers Waltman beating Razor on Raw. I feel like that was the one that should have gotten more credit when it happened.
Hey, Don, we're going to have to just have you on audio right now, if that's okay. Because we're having issues having both you on this camera and the pre-show at the same time. So I want you here, but we're not going to be able to see you right now.
Okay.
So let's see. If you're a fan of wine, get ready, because there is a brand that's called Wines That Rock that are teaming up to do wines featuring Undertaker and the Ultimate Warrior. Those will be released on October 22nd.
Laughs in Stephen Amell.
I'm just saying.
It's already been done. They just steal everything.
Is this just like nasty fruit wine or what? What is
I have
this?
no idea. They rock, apparently. That's
They
all I know.
rock?
Well, they chose Ultimate Warrior, so it's already going to be overrated on one level.
Wow.
Oh.
Yikes.
Ooh.
And John's
Ultimate Warrior and Goldberg both go into the dumpster immediately.
Don's favorite wrestler getting his own series on HBO Max allegedly. As
Damian Sandow?
no, but an excellent guest, sir, and his name is not Damian Sandow anymore.
Dalton Castle?
Not Dalton Castle.
Juan Cena?
That is correct. John Cena is getting a series after the Suicide Squad is released. His character, the Peacemaker, is allegedly getting his own series on HBO Max.
Oh, I love this so much because you got both him and James Gunn are both signed on.
And Don, I just want you to know, put a pin on the name John Cena because something's coming up later that I made Alex almost lose his mind earlier today.
On the Juan Cena? Okay.
Yes, so get
I'll
ready
put
for
a
that.
pin in him.
Let's talk AEW Dark.
Voodoo doll. Pin and voodoo doll of Juan Cena.
No, that's not it. But thank you for
Hey,
asking.
peace, by any means necessary.
So I have a question. We're watching the pre-show right now, and we're doing the charity thing, and we're making sure Roman Reigns is involved. With Hyundai, do we really know when he's running heel?
They don't care. That's always been the bit. Whenever it's
Charlie
Special
Caruso.
Olympics.
Charlie Caruso, how you doing?
Yeah. Whether it's Connor's Cure, Special Olympics, I apologize, I missed what it was for Hyundai. But whenever it comes to that, they know who sells and puts butts in seats, so to speak, and they get involved heel or face.
Just
it doesn't matter.
And Susan Komen will start on Thursday.
Okay.
Because that's October.
That's right, it is October.
So Friday, probably SmackDown will have the pink rope in the middle. Don, you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Just sounded like you just dropped your phone on the...
And it's sounding
Oh,
like...
no. It's just I adjusted my laptop here for a second. I apologize. Here's my laptop.
Don, there's a mute button.
So
I was moving
AEW
the
Dark...
laptop. I didn't know what to do that.
This week's AEW Dark will have 9 matches on it. So be aware of that because this week was 11 matches for almost an hour and a half.
And QR Weekly.
And apparently it's no longer supersized according to Excalibur. This one was jam-packed. All right, so we have our first selection before we get into it. Our first pick of the night. Don, stay with me. Our first pick of the night. And Alex, you may want to write, if you can type these out somehow, just because, actually, I have to open a Word document because I thought I was prepared for this and I wasn't in my Excel document.
I can remember.
Well, let's Don, what were you saying right there? Just go ahead and take that and we'll fill it.
We should call, it should be called Loaded. AEW Loaded.
Ladies.
Like a baked potato.
All right, let's move it on. Right now, we're talking U.S. title. U.S. title is on the line. Champion Bobby Lashley versus the former champion Apollo Crews. Let's get into the pick. Doc.
I am going with Bobby Lashley.
Straight up?
Straight up.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get that put in here. Go to end. Alex.
I'm also going to say Bobby Lashley. I want to say by submission because I'm not 100% sure how that works since it's like tap out or pass out.
Pass out still a submission.
You know what? Forget it. It's the first time I haven't had the belt in 2 pay-per-views. I'll go for it. I'll say submission.
Okay. Don.
I'm going to copy, unfortunately, Alex on this, Mr. Ohio. I'm going to do what he did.
I'm sorry. I couldn't hear anything over the dragging of a laptop by the microphone.
Oh, that's just my headset.
Okay, dragging of other equipment.
I got the earbuds in so I don't make all the sounds.
It's not time for that belt to move again yet.
No,
it's going to
way
be
too
Bobby
early.
Lashley. He's going to win with the submission.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that Apollo Crews will get interfered with by...
The Hurt Business will
What's
cause
his
some
name?
kind of a thing,
So-
whether it be MVP or
All right,
Shelton.
so let's go back to AEW Dark. Fuego del Sol reminds me of El Generico, and I'm not afraid to say it.
I want to say that they have actually had a rivalry on the Indies.
Oh, really?
I went tiptoeing by something. I believe in bar wrestling they had a feud between Fuego del Sol being the legit luchador and El Generico being a Syrian from Canada under a luchador mask.
I love that. I will never not love that.
El campeón de los niños.
I really do enjoy the
No,
back.
that was his bit.
Yeah.
That was
He was
Sami
the-
Zayn's bit when he was
he
on.
was, he was the generic luchador.
Oh, I really wish I had brought my Olay shirt now.
And it was
Next week.
because his theme was
Next
always
week.
ole, 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 ole. That was his theme. So I do really enjoy the back and forth with Vita Scott, Excalibur, and Taz. They're
they're
so
great
much
booth.
fun. It makes that unbearable show just a little bit easier to watch. I really hate to see Christopher Daniels continuing the job. I mean, a win against Ricky Starks would have been nice, but
But that's what Christopher Daniels is at this point. I mean,
know. He's passing the torch, and
I would be
get it.
very curious because I don't know directly offhand whether or not he or Dustin is older. But at the
Don,
same
get on that. Who's older, Christopher Daniels
I know what you're-
or Dustin Rhodes?
Dustin Rhodes or Christopher Daniels?
Who's
or what?
older?
yes, I would say that they're probably close.
It's
It
going to
might
be
be
close.
Dustin by a little bit.
Yeah, I think it'll be Dustin by just a little bit too,
But
given when
But at that point, you also have Christopher Daniels has the talent coordinator, the talent relations position as well. So even when he gets involved in a match, it's basically a one-off at this point because he's doing such great work because he's the one that's been bringing in all the indie talents and getting in touch with people because what was it that I want to say that Kazarian called him everybody's favorite uncle?
it's probably
Every
Wilson.
indie wrestler's favorite uncle or something like that.
Don, what you got?
Okay, Christopher Daniels, born March 24th, 1970. He is 50.
Yep.
Goldust, Donald Reynolds, whatever, is April 11th, 1969. He's 51, so he's older.
So by about a year and a half.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, because Dustin's early 69, Christopher Daniels.
Oh,
late
see,
70.
I swapped it in my head. I thought it was less than a year.
No, that's about a year. March and April.
Oh,
March
so
of
it's
70,
okay, all right.
April of 69.
And apparently,
So-
Puff is a gimmick now with one F. Does Gabriel Iglesias know?
No, that's fluff.
Oh, never mind. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the Magic Dragon.
There's
It was
also
one
that-
F.
Oh, one.
One F. A single F, as the kids like to say.
Does that make it poof?
No,
A single
it's
F
Puff.
to give.
Serpentico's got a cool graphic on his intro.
Well,
I like that.
they're trying to make him and Luther a thing, and I understand why.
Serena Deeb got a win.
Yes.
Very excited for her.
The newly signed Serena
And
Deeb.
I just want to say this. I understand like AEW doing the wins and losses. Maybe don't let them count on Dark.
Yeah, but that's the whole point.
Because when a guy comes out and he's 0-13, like, do I really have any faith at this point?
Well, it's become the story between Brandon Cutler and Peter Avalon. So yes, even if it is over.
And I do.
Because you know what we're going to lead to? We're going to have the Jobber Battle Royal at some point on Dark. That's going to be everybody.
If they don't
who's-
call it that, I'm going to be very upset.
But everybody who's 0 for like their career in AEW, so somebody's going to get a win.
The O for Battle Royal.
And you know what's going to be even worse? I can tell you how it's going to be booked. You're going to have Peter Avalon and Brandon Cutler fall out at the same time, so it's a tie and nobody wins.
I hate you for willing that into existence.
I love it.
And I did actually watch Late Night Dynamite, most of it, because TNT made it 8 minutes late.
Yeah.
Because they had to do the entire post show. Come on, guys. Don't be Fox Sports Net. And the only good thing about that is Jericho just made that show. His commentary made the show. Otherwise,
Jericho
it was
always makes the
unbearable.
show.
NWA news. Zicky Dice, a free agent, not so fast. NWA not letting him out of his contract now.
I can understand that. He's holding one of the belts.
Although Royce Isaac, he got his release.
Oh, did he? I missed that one.
Yes, sir.
I saw the other one that's supposedly not under contract now. James Storm.
We talked about that last week. Yeah, we did cover
You're
that.
right. I wasn't here.
I'm just saying, we did cover that. Also, but Royce Isaac's tag team partner,
Oh, really?
not that he's not under contract, but Thomas Lattimore and Camille now engaged.
Oh.
So mazel tov to those kids.
Congrats.
We're excited for them.
Those are going to be some tall, muscular children.
Yes, they are.
God,
Yes, Don, we're talking about Impact now. Victory
Oh,
Road
God,
will be
We
Saturday.
have to.
Hey, Jay, feel free to just disconnect.
Okay.
Victory Road will be the latest Impact Plus exclusive show this coming Saturday night. I will not be subscribing to that.
They
I'm
got to
not
do
gonna
something
buy
more
it.
for me. They
That
got to
is
do
not
something
worth
more
my
for
money.
me on that one.
Well, they just announced it like this past week, so you
Okay.
really have no buildup.
Yeah, it's basically like, oh, by the way,
And in very strange news, as we know, Ken Shamrock will be inducted into the Impact Hall of Fame right before Bound for Glory.
For the record, I love this. I know where you're going with it, but I love it.
But the person introing him, or well, that is
Contributing.
that will be sending a pre-taped congratulations. Don, did you read this?
No.
Helping induct Ken Shamrock into the Impact Hall of Fame in about 4 weeks. One Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Well, to be fair, it's only going to be Dwayne Johnson.
But I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like seeing his picture on an Impact graphic the other day, like I already knew, but seeing that picture, I was like, but it's 2020, so
yes.
everything, the gloves are off, nothing matters, dogs and cats are living together, mass hysteria.
Yeah, it's a generic response, but it's like,
The Rock on
yeah,
Impact?
because
That makes
2020.
me sick. Do we have to? Did he
Yes.
have to?
Yes.
Did he have to?
Yes.
Okay.
But Don, what do you think about that?
Did
It doesn't matter what you think. You had to have seen that coming, Don.
Shine it up real nice. Turn the. I better not.
Turn that show connection sideways.
Have we determined that when Don's the disembodied voice, he's 20% funnier?
I think it might be 14%.
Some notes from the show. I'd like to see Trey Miguel's contract. Because he's
I think-
always in a title hunt somewhere, and he can never win one.
I don't think they have a contract for him anymore. I'm pretty sure they just ran out of rolling papers.
Oh, jeez. Brian Myers, did you notice his shirt? Mm-hmm. Very Edge-esque, and I dug it.
He is so great.
Wait, okay.
He's allowed to do his own thing.
Oh, dear. What was R-Truth just doing?
Looking for little Jimmy.
Being R-Truth. Yeah, he's doing the little Jimmy thing
We'll
again.
get to that
so
later, too. But,
Sorry.
Don, I want you to go to our Facebook page.
Okay.
Because
Hold on.
after the show, because we can't air it. I want to air it, but we can't.
Okay.
I just want to confirm if you got the spreadsheet up.
I've got a Word document for it.
Okay. I just didn't know if
I'm gonna
needed
plug and
to
play
still
later.
do it. Okay.
So are you talking the podcast or the regular?
The Popcast.
So-
Because on our Facebook page right now is the greatest wrestling segment of this week, and it took place during Impact.
Okay.
The greatest wrestling segment of all time.
If you
this
are
week.
one of the 5 Americans that still has that show on your DVR, just fast forward to about the 46-minute mark, and you'll have everything you need in this particular sport this week.
It gives me faith in 2020.
Yeah, Doc actually watched it while we were in the
Yes.
parking lot in the pre-show, so Doc has seen it. Part of me, since Don hasn't seen it, part of me doesn't want to ruin it, but just go to the 46-minute mark and we can talk about it later.
Elephants are endangered.
Yes, they are.
There's another animal, too.
Rhino wrestling.
AEW Dynamite, rumors that Gerald Briscoe may be going to that company. So be ready for that. Gerald Briscoe's showing up on Dynamite. And FTR in an interview this week, they want the machine guns.
Oh, why wouldn't
Make
you?
this happen. I don't care what you have to do. I don't care what paperwork needs to be filled out. Make this happen.
I want the rumors that I heard to be true. I want the rumors where they actually had a plan written out that they have worked on, brought it to Tony Khan and said, here's how you make this work without making it obviously one-sided and how everybody gets better.
And one half of that other team isn't under contract right now. Saban's not under contract.
That's true. I believe it was a per appearance, wasn't it? And they've
So,
reached that quota.
Call Scotty D'Amore, cut the check, let's get this done. Because I think that is going to be even though Saban is aging rapidly.
That's true. But he can still go.
He can still go, yeah.
But what I really like, and I keep circling back, and I know it's a weird reference because it wasn't televised, it wasn't recorded, but being on the first Jericho cruise where you had Jay Lethal and you had Kenny Omega and you had John Morrison as, at that time, Johnny Impact, and they were all talking about how everything gets so much better when you work together.
I thought he was Johnny Mundo.
That was Lucha.
Okay.
Yeah. No. When he was with Impact, he was Johnny Impact.
Okay.
When he was with Lucha Underground, it was Johnny Mundo. When he was working on the Indies, it was Johnny Gimmick Name.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, you talk real fast. Can I go in? I got to the Facebook page. Are you talking the thing with Heath Slater?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I watched it on Impact.
Was that not amazing?
Yeah, I mean all those.
First of all, the misspelling of rhinoceros.
You mean Rhinoceros?
Yes. Then you had David Hasselhoff,
Yes.
Flavor Flav,
Yes.
Nancy Kerrigan, and Chuck Norris all on Cameo. We see what you did there, Impact.
Yep.
And then DeLorean Brown.
DeLorean, I was
That
done.
made me so happy.
So done.
DeLorean Brown, I was like, nothing gonna beat this. And I'm so glad you hadn't seen it until I texted you, because I was like, oh, I can't wait till he sees this. All right, it is pick time. We're talking about it's SummerSlam 1997 all over again.
Is it?
2 Intercontinental titles hung above the ring in an Ascension ceremony. But now it's a triple threat, so it's not Sean Razor. Jeff Hardy versus AJ Styles versus Sami Zayn to crown the undisputed Intercontinental Champion, Alex.
See, and I like the better idea that it's like, by law, whenever there is more than one Intercontinental title based on the rulings of Ramon V. Michaels, it must be done in a ladder match. But
Right.
but they're telegraphing the heck out of this. Caught myself. They're telegraphing the heck out of this. It's going to be Jeff Hardy. You can't really call a finish. But friend of the show, Jess, thanks for coming out and watching SmackDown with me. We noticed something about the Thunderdome, and I want to put a pin in that before we move off of this match, but let's go ahead and get the rest of the picks first.
Don.
Jeff Hardy wins.
All right. Doc.
Sami Zayn wins, but there's going to be interference.
By who?
I don't know. I just feel interference.
Because you really can't call shenanigans in a match like this because there's no DQ.
Well,
That's also true.
I'm not calling it. I'm just saying. It's just
You feel like there's going to be something.
I feel there's going to be.
See, I
interference
have
and
something
Zayn's
in
gonna
the
win.
neighborhood, but not interference. That's what I'm holding back on.
Okay, all right.
You know what? Just to make it fun,
Yeah.
because I pitched the perfect game and I've won both Rumbles in the same year, I'm going to Jericho this thing for the rest of my life. I'm going to say AJ Styles just to make it interesting.
Okay.
Round it out a little bit.
You've reached your quota.
Well, but you know, I hate it when we all pick the same thing in every freaking match because it doesn't make it competitive.
That's also true.
It doesn't make it fun to watch as much.
Yeah. I agree, but it's also I like to win.
Well, yeah, but still.
Okay, so now that we have all the picks in, did you notice anything about the Thunderdome during that opening segment?
I did not.
So they put the belts up, right? As we're
In
seeing
the
right now.
Ascension ceremony.
Yes. And left them up there. There's two things. What did AJ Styles really make his name with in Impact? Like, what was his real coming out in regards to a title match?
I didn't realize he came out.
Georgia style.
Oh, same difference.
Yeah. It was the Ultimate X where he started like climbing across
Yeah.
the ropes and doing stuff that was a little bit risque.
Risky. Risque is a whole different thing.
Fair enough. Risky.
Risque is more dog style.
Something's
Every day.
wrong with the graphics. They blocked it up.
What is that belt?
They messed up the belt in the graphics.
Was that?
It was squared off.
And it had a big eye in the middle of it. I was like, is that the Matt Sydal championship? What are we
wanna
doing
know.
right there?
I don't want to know. But you don't have the belts hanging from the rafters like normal.
Oh, Sammy's just joined the party.
Yes. But the belts aren't hanging from the rafters like normal. There is an actual, I don't know what the
Like
term
a zip line?
No, it's the metal framework that they would use to build up something in the corner.
Like scaffolding?
Kind of, yes. But it was like load-bearing scaffolding. But not only was there load-bearing scaffolding, but the monitors for Thunderdome were given space. So I have a sneaking suspicion we're going to have a scissor lift from Sami Zayn coming out and moving the scaffolding to keep people from it.
Which actually worked to my advantage. All right, let's talk about Dynamite just a little bit. Shout out to Janela with the Moobies hat.
Yes.
Because he's from Jersey, so there's that. And I didn't know how much I missed dark-haired Cody.
That was a little too dark for me. It was
Well,
a
they
bit of
had
a
to
shock.
counterbalance the platinum blonde somehow.
Yeah.
I think this is what they had. This is what they had to do to
get.
get him back to normal. They had to
Yeah.
go the complete opposite way.
It's
to
like
balance.
I feel like he got it done that day, and it's going to fade to normal at some point.
So, but I like the suit. I thought the suit was
yeah, it looked
sharp,
really good.
Great entrance.
Well,
even
as
though
soon
it
as
was
the
ruined
music
for
hit,
me
it
on
was
Twitter.
obvious.
Yeah. NXT show notes. Are we writing Tegan Knox out? Is that
Yeah,
what
she's
we're doing?
legit hurt.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
She tore her ACL again.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
And I knew that Rhea Ripley was not going to win that match because she was eliminating so many people so
Well, it's
early.
the same thing with her and Raquel. They're building
Yeah.
to that female hoss fight. What would be the equivalent of that without being offensive?
I would just, I don't know, 2 strong ladies. There you go.
The Shiva
I
battle
want
or
to see how
something.
which bug me because they keep on piping the crowd noise in. How can they have crowd noise if there's no crowd? There was no one in the stands. No one
It was so over the top on
Yeah.
NXT. It was bad.
There was in the crowd. There was no one banging on the glass. There was no one in the hockey arena. And why do they have that stuff? Boo and
I'm right there. I'm right there with you, Don.
I feel like
Right
we
there
should
with
just
you.
record this segment and just play it every week because it's the same thing over and over again, and it's
So
still
Don,
bad.
I want you to get ready because I had a little.
All right.
I had a little piece of genius this week.
Is this the pin?
This is
The
the
pin
pin.
you told me?
This is the pin.
Okay.
Has Austin Theory become Job Cena?
I don't know.
Oh, that was so
John,
I'm
underrated.
very
I like that.
disappointed
John
right now.
Cena.
You know what? It was too smart. That's what it was. It was too smart. But
I got nothing.
I really, really think he's getting
Hey, I said I liked it.
like I said, I think he's getting the Triple H after the curtain call treatment. He's really getting the you're going to be punished for a while until it's okay for you to win again.
And so we had the mystery person in a video game show up, take the old NXT title out from under glass with a male and female voice attached. And I looked at the history.
We are jumping to the SmackDown tag titles
At the
right
SmackDown
now.
tag titles because they're doing them right now.
Don, you're up.
Hold on, let me.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to-
not ready yet. So we have Lucha House Party versus Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro. Don.
Cesaro and all them by pinfall.
Doc.
Lucha House Party by submission.
Why not?
I love Doc.
Alex.
It's going to be Shinsuke and Cesaro by pin, but this is where Lince Dorado turns on the rest of them.
That one I'm going to have to agree with just because I can't pick Lucha
There's
House
nothing
Party.
interesting about picking the opposite here.
Yeah.
Oh, I beg to differ.
All right, so back to NXT as we're going along right now, as we are getting ready for Night of Champions Gold Rush.
Gold Rush.
Thank you, Don.
Oh, it's weird. Lince Dorado is wearing his Toronto Raptors gear.
Because, well, it's snowbird season, and they are in Florida.
No.
Um,
I think it's because he's going to tear it off and it's going to be Kawhi on the Clippers.
so we, dear. So we have the mystery person, and I went through a list of NXT champions.
I did
and
the same thing.
only one that made sense to me was Bobby Roode.
That one was where I thought too, because nothing else.
Nothing else makes sense.
But the problem is I was trying to see Bobby Roode in, because they did it very first-person Call of Duty night vision style. Bobby Roode's the only one that makes sense just from a story standpoint.
But there's one more piece of it that makes sense too.
Well, but what I'm going to say is, like, the actual reveal of it doesn't quite make sense.
I mean, it's going to
me,
happen next Sunday during TakeOver.
Yeah, we'll be
which
here.
we will also be deconstructing. Don, any thoughts on that?
On which part?
On the segment of the mystery person claiming to return next Sunday that they are alleging is a former NXT champion. Because
Are you
it's not
talking
like
the
they've
Impact
had...
or whatever?
Yeah, the little video game looking thing.
I could care less, to be honest with you.
I can make Don care
It is
about
that kind of in-depth analysis you expect from Don Ford each and every week.
I
here on
can
the
make
show.
Don care about it because I thought of one other person.
Okay.
Ember Moon.
She is a video game person.
Uh-huh. But the idea is I don't know if she's...
Oh, she did hold that title too, didn't she?
Mhm.
I'd be okay with
The
that.
NXT
She was the NXT Women's Champion right up
she
until
was
she got
between
moved up.
Asuka and Shayna.
Yeah, she gave it to Shayna,
Oh,
and then
okay,
she
that's
moved
right.
up.
She did get it after Oscar got
'cause
hurt or whatever.
I
She
would
was
be
the one
okay
that
with
got
that.
hurt.
I would be totally okay with that.
But I don't know if she's healed up. I know she's had a long time on the shelf and is super talented, and she would be, as weird as that is, because that vignette felt very heel-ish,
She's worked heel before.
but she's better. Like, they need a better face, because they're going to run EO tweener, and everybody else is. Or what?
Could be your first NXT Women's Champion. She's got unfinished business.
Oh, that makes me worry just because of the neck injury deal.
Yeah.
But anything that gets more Paige in my life is always good.
Not Paige.
Paige was first.
No, she was their version of the Divas champion. I'm talking
No.
about
Paige was the first NXT champion.
right, but that not that belt. I'm talking about the one that's closer looking to the current. Wait, but who did she drop it to?
No, she vacated.
Okay, so who won it after that?
Charlotte.
That's who I'm referring to.
Yeah.
You're right. I apologize. I was wrong. But because she's got unfinished business with Rhea Ripley.
That's a possibility.
We'll know next Sunday because we will be deconstructing NXT TakeOver as well.
Assuming that they actually go through with it.
Well.
Well, there's been matches we thought they were going to go through with here. I don't think the United States title was supposed to even be on this card. And I think that's
it is Night of Champions, Gold Rush.
Clash of Champions.
Thank you, Don. NXT UK, good to see Walter back again, but that power bomb needs some work. That was a rough-looking power bomb.
I feel like he was just a little bit rusty on it because usually, like on the indies, he throws it so intensely, and he's
well. Given how empty that is, they need all the sound effects they can get.
Yeah.
Here are your Heritage Cup matchups. The tournament begins this week. Joseph Connors will take on Dave Mastiff. Good luck, Joey boy.
Yeah.
The wild card, who will be determined via a triple threat on this week's episode, will take on Trent Seven, who does an invisible handshake, which I thought was very funny. Flash Morgan Webster will take on A-Kid. That could be
a good match.
That could be the best match of the tournament if it's booked correctly. Because that's going to be the one that nobody's going to put any stock in. I think it's going to shock a lot of people. And then Alexander Wolf will take on Noam Dar with Pete Dunne as the special guest referee.
Yeah, you see, the problem is I want Pete Dunne in this.
I don't.
I love Pete Dunne.
I want Pete Dunne to be their commissioner. I want him
what?
to be a wrestler commissioner.
But they got Johnny Ace for that.
Yeah. And Piper Niven, I've determined, has kind of an Adele thing going on, which I dig.
That is a good pull.
But
that is a good one.
Are we getting a heel turn?
I don't know.
I thought it was going to happen in the injury moment, but I feel like the way that match ended, I think we're getting a heel turn from Piper Niven, and I'm totally here for it. Even though
give her
the only problem is the NXT division, their NXT women's division is very heel heavy.
Yes, it is.
So,
well, and especially when you think about it, just from a basic storytelling standpoint, it's better to have the heel be small and weasel into wins, whereas Piper Niven is a much larger individual, both in height, stature, and everything included. So she has more of the power motif. It's the old school Hogan booking.
205 Live, I did not get to watch because the network did put it up after it aired, and I tried to watch it last night and said there was an error with the file.
And I was really looking forward to this one. They had a couple of great matches listed.
Well, they only ever have two.
But these two I was more interested in. That's what I'm saying.
Ring of Honor has a new intro, which I very much like by them. It's a lot more current.
Sinclair doing something current? It is the end of days.
I know. So in something that shocked me, Fred Yehi defeats Silas Young in the red bracket. People say, how tall is he? About Yehi. And
how dare you, sir? Fred Yehi is an amazing performer.
You know,
and you
it's a great dad joke when Doc's head drops. When I have taken Doc off guard, that's a great day.
I love Fred Yehi.
And Josh Woods beats Kenny King in the first decision because it went the distance of 15 minutes.
Did you talk about him being national news last week?
Josh Woods?
No, Kenny King.
Yeah, he got engaged?
Yes.
Because he is the K-I-N-G King, yeah.
So who do you think won the match if you were a judge? Kenny King or the other?
I was surprised that Josh Woods took that. I really thought Kenny King, because anytime I can get Kenny King and Jay Lethal in the same ring, I am here for it. But
you'd have to get to the end, and they're already got something else earmarked.
You also think about the fact of how many times have we had that now. Uh-huh. And Matt Sydal, who's super excited to be here, he's going to be featured in a couple of weeks, even though he's working for another company now.
Multiple companies.
So we've got some extra time before the pay-per-view starts. Let's do some more picks because we've got almost done. Let's go to the Raw Tag Team titles on the line as soon as I can learn how to type. We have Street Profits versus Angel Garza and Andrade. And Doc, we are to you.
Oh, well, the Street Profits, because LA hates them so very, very much. Which
and
makes
as we know, you hate LA so very, very
so
much.
very much. And
Straight
if they
up?
win, it'll make me very, very happy.
Straight up?
Straight up.
All right. Alex?
You know what? I'm going to do your aspect on this one. I'll take Andrade and Angel Garza because they are arguably the two most talented guys in this match, in a match of four very talented people.
Straight up?
I will take it by pin.
Okay. Don?
Unfortunately, I'm copying Alex on that one. I think.
How much you want to bet he does this the rest of the show?
I think it's time to move those belts. And Street Profits have gotten the the better of them almost every week for the last month.
And we've seen this match so many times go the other way.
So,
and I kind of like the edge that they're giving them, no pun intended, with the more, and it's very much like Legado in NXT, that they're kind of like the bigger version of that right now. So that could be a nice way to bring all of that full circle as well.
WWE Championship on the line in an ambulance match. Drew McIntyre, question mark, versus Randy Orton, question mark. Alex.
Well, that is the match we have, and I think to do what they're going to do, I think this might be the one belt that moves.
Okay.
And I think you're going to have Keith Lee getting involved, not shenanigans because he's already been part of this. Keith Lee getting involved to cost McIntyre the belt, which preserves McIntyre losing on a 2-on-1 basis and not taking a pin or anything. And then we have new champion Randy Orton.
Don.
Randy Orton's going to win it.
Doc.
Stays with McIntyre.
Are you just being contrarian at this point?
No, I just kind of know what's going to happen. Randy Orton's going to pull. He's not going to do something very nice to the other guy's backside. We all know that's going to happen. Then Keith Lee's going to come out. He's going to screw something up, but it's not going to get caught by the rep. And then Randy Orton gets thrown in the slammer.
Well, it's technically no DQ, so.
Well,
So I'm actually going with Doc on this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Roll with me for a minute.
I'm listening.
Ambulance match. See what I did there? Keith Lee does get involved. Keith Lee turning heel.
Mm-hmm.
His lady friend already being heel.
I'm sorry, you mean The Reckoning?
We'll get there during the show.
Just checking.
And who is his best friend? Who's also the leader of Retribution?
T-Bar. God, I hate those names.
We'll get to
I
it
hate
during the
them
show.
so
We'll talk
much.
about it during the show.
T-Bar's a chairlift.
Oh, you should see the names they're giving these people.
Oh,
what-
I
so
feel
what are the other
so
two
bad
names?
for them.
We can run that real quick. We've
Okay,
only got
yeah.
one more.
Okay.
Let's see.
What's a T-bar? It's a type of chairlift.
But at the same time-
we have Slapjack,
Oh,
T-Bar, Mace, Reckoning, and Retaliation are your names that have been released so far.
oh my God! You know what's even going to be even worse?
Do they hate these guys? I mean, those are awful.
Yes, they are. But you know what's going to be even worse is when they do indoctrinate Keith Lee into it and just make him Legion.
Well, and then you got Dijakovic and Stein doing the big selling on Twitter, and Jericho just going, "Huh?
Oh, did you see the response to that?
I did not."
Oh,
So let's get. We got one.
Yeah,
We got
we'll get
one
to
more
that.
match to get to. Universal title on the line. Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso. Don, we are to you.
Reigns by pinfall.
Doc,
Yeah, it's going to go to Roman.
straight up.
Yep.
Alex.
And because karma, I'm copying Don. It's Reigns by pinfall. This is got to be the most obvious booking because if they ever put the Universal title on Jey Uso, kudos. He's a great performer, but no. Just no.
It's a clean sweep. I would say if booking has any, if creative has any stones, they put this belt on Jey Uso. However,
Especially how it ended.
and that's what I have to say about that.
Mm-hmm.
All
I
right.
can't.
My shirt, I have my Who Booked This Crap shirt on today, Don.
Okay.
All right. So as the card stands, grade the card, Doc.
I will give it a C plus, and the only reason it's getting a plus because it has the ladder match.
Alex.
I want to grade this poorly, and I thought we were supposed to have a Retribution match on this.
No, they're saving that.
Okay. I thought we were doing the Retribution Hurt business here, and then it was going to expand for Survivor Series. Anyways.
Remember, you've still got time. You'll probably have Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, that's true. I want to grade this poorly, but like Doc said, it has the ladder match, which I'm very big on. It has the ambulance match I'm interested in.
But it took the ladies off. For whatever
At
reason.
this
For
point.
whatever reason.
At this point.
Well, we still have the Raw Women's
there
title.
are
Wait, we didn't
rumors.
pick the
Oh,
Raw
we didn't pick
Women's
the Raw.
title.
Okay, let's
Well,
do
well,
that.
Because that was supposed to be on the pre-show.
Correct.
And it...
Well, hurry up so we can do it.
No, go for it.
No,
I'm gonna
grade-
say, I'm
grade
gonna
the
say
card.
I'm going to say it's a straight C.
Don.
D plus. As in dog.
I'm going to say a D. I just don't have a lot of faith in
Oh,
this
I love
card.
this. I love
Well,
this finisher.
Let's go Raw Women's title because we actually are going to have that one. Asuka versus Zelina Vega. Alex.
Asuka by submission. I mean, they like Zelina, and with good reason. But in her first singles match since getting squashed by Bianca Belair, no.
Shinsuke Nakamura, Cesaro win their match. Don.
All right. Unfortunately, I'm going to be like Alex on this again. But to make it so we're not so close and either one of us is going to, since we're so close on how we picked it, plain and simple, I'm calling shenanigans on this one.
Who would be shenanigans, though?
It could be somebody trying to join the stable. I don't know.
What
you know
stable?
What I'm saying? I'm just going to break this up. Either I'm going to
No. I get it. I appreciate it, and I really
Okay.
like the moxie. I'm curious as to who it would be if you were booking it.
Somebody's going to join the stable with her and all that stuff. I think so.
Well, but I want to know who he's thinking, or if he's just calling it randomly. Because
I'm
the
just
stable.
calling randomly to shake things
But
up
what I'm
so
saying
that,
is the
like,
stable
we
doesn't
don't have
exist
a tie.
anymore.
What would you do if it was Kyrie?
Either I'm going to be a genius or I'm going to lose.
Oh, I would
So-
love it. I would absolutely love that.
The whole-
That's what I'm
What?
fishing for.
The whole Kyrie Sane thing was a ruse, and she's been under contract the whole time. Oh, that would be amazing. Doc.
I'm gonna go with Zelina over Asuka.
All right. And you know what? Because
kinda-
I'm feeling saucy, I'm going to say the same thing Doc said, but I'm going to say Zelina Vega via submission.
Really?
Real comment?
I like it.
Because again, if booking has any stones at all, this starts probably what is the best case scenario for a feud in the Raw Women's division right now. That is your best case scenario right now. And plus, let Zelina Vega come. She's coming in hot, baby.
Yep.
Yeah.
All
And
right,
you know
so
that she could do work.
we're going to take a quick break. The pay-per-view starts in 8 minutes, so we're going to be on just a couple of minutes before. So go get yourself a beverage and a snack. We will be back at a couple of minutes before 7 Eastern, and we'll make sure that you're queued up properly so that you can join us for the deconstruction of WWE Clash of Champions Gold Rush.
Gold Rush.
So, Don, we're going to say goodbye to you, but we're going to be working on some things to try to get it. So we want to get the timing a little bit better so we make sure that we have you in sync with us next week. Bye. So make sure that you
just
follow
made
Don.
Doc very happy.
I've now popped Doc twice. It's a great day. So make sure you follow Don on Twitter at Igbunu, IGBUNUUU. Make sure you follow us on all of your social medias at The Cheap Popcast. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. You can follow me if you'd like. Everything is Yes That Rob Irvin. That is spelled ERVIN.
I just looked my name up on Facebook. I'm pretty easy to find.
And the 97 bands that he's in.
Yeah. There you go. Got a new one, Suburban Cowboy.
Suburban Cowboy.
We're going to debut at Lava Cantina on November 7th, and then I've got more
you're
stuff.
not going to debut at Gillies? Because that would be so much cooler.
That would have been. But also Barefoot Nation will be playing at Barn Hill Vineyard out in Anna, Texas.
I'm sorry, what vineyard?
Barn
The
Hill.
one you have nothing to do with, even though
That's
it
also
matches your last name. Go.
Yeah.
I am Vexblade on all social media. Remember, if you'd like to help out the show, you can go to ProWrestlingTees.com and look up The Cheap Popcast. If you'd like the exact URL, I'm going to throw it over to Don for that.
He may be gone.
Crickets. All right. Well, it is ProWrestlingTees.com/The Cheap Popcast.
That's our show, everybody. We're going to be back in just a few minutes. Stick with us. This has been The Cheap Popcast. I'm not going to say the close because it's not for time for me to close the show. We'll see you in